You guys are going to hopefully walk away with this with some inspiration to create your own MOFIRs. And Connie and I were just talking about some opportunities that could be missed if we don't have the right MOFIR. We actually both shared similar stories that were unfortunate where we missed out on a client because we weren't offering exactly what they were looking for. We are on page 63 of the playbook. In case you did not get a copy, Robert was so kind to copy a few off for us. So make sure you get that. And then also you do have access. I think there's a pile over here. You do have access to the digitized playbook. I think it's on our website, and you can message us, email us. We'll send it to you. We are looking at MOFIRs really quickly. Just a rough overview. MOFIR stands for make offer for immediate response. I need us to understand something. This is not a new concept at all. This has been around forever. Okay. And the most simple MOFIR that we can think of that you've seen over and over again is, what's my home's value? What does it do? It's an offer that you can give someone their home's value really fast. But I can only give you your home value if you enter your information right now. Now you're just, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think now we might be desensitized to that, although it still does work for a lot of agents, just offering the value of your home. But we're going to go through this as usual. There are 4 steps to this, and I love how simple the playbooks are. Again, the definition is at the top: make offer for immediate response. Now, the first things first, we need to pick our MOFIR. Okay. Now, what is a MOFIR? There are certain parts to it. Part number 1, you need to know your market. You need to know where you are in the real estate world, on the timeline, where you live. For example, a bad MOFIR would be foreclosures, bank-owned properties. There's not a lot of those right now. Okay. There's some really good MOFIRs on what is your home's value when the market spikes. Now, what's your home's value? That is something that a homeowner could be very interested in finding out. So let's read this. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. This agent focuses on buy before you sell programs. Now, that would mean that you're partnering up with a lender. You're finding a lender that offers something like that. I would encourage you, check with Movement Mortgage first, see if they offer something like that. And if they do not, they can absolutely connect you to a lender that does offer something like that. They will pay a premium for that problem to be solved. Now, number 2, integrate your MOFIR. So we're already moving past the most important step, and that is, what is your MOFIR? How can we figure out what your MOFIR is? So I pulled up Keller Inc., and we're going to look at the 4 points of a MOFIR. Okay. Point number 1, research the market. Know your market. Know what you are in right now. We just talked about there's not a ton of expireds, not a ton of foreclosures. So that might not be the best MOFIR for you right now. Know your market. Number 2, figure out a path to solving a problem. So identify a problem. What problem are your clients running into? Do they not know what it looks like to buy a house and sell their house at the same time? That's a problem. For us as agents, it's not the biggest issue. We do that all the time. But for them, that is the scariest thing. Real estate transactions is one of the top 5 most stressful moments in a person's life. Just that move in general. Don't lose sight of that. This is a huge deal to them. Now add a second transaction to that, and they're losing their minds. So how can we create a solution to that? Is it a white glove transition program? You would name it whatever you want to name it, but figure out the problem. If multiple clients have mentioned to you, I really want to fix up this house. Should I fix up this house? How do I fix up this house? There's a problem right there. And do you have an instant solution at this very moment? Probably not, but this is worth exploring. How can I find a solution to that? Yes. Yeah.
Also, as as with first
Hmm.
myself,
Yeah, absolutely. That reminds me of, we run CMAs all the time, right? To us, it's an everyday thing. But to your clients, that's amazing. How do you know the exact dollar amount of my home? Oh, how do you find? Yes, they're absolutely going to go on Zillow. So again, how can you make your MOFR more appealing? Let's take that a step further. So not only am I going to tell you, Mrs. Seller, what your home is worth, but I actually can tell you how much money you're going to walk away and put in your pocket. Now, that's not something that Zillow is doing. Now, what did I just offer you? I offered you a net sheet. To us, again, we do that all the time. But what if I called it, and this is an actual thing, a professional or a property, professional equity analysis report? Oh, and it even has a pair on it because I just spelled out pair. I have one of these out. I should have sent it to you guys. And I will not only tell you the value of your home, but if you give me a little bit of information, what's your loan balance, what your mortgage balance is, I can actually tell you, including the fees and commissions and all those things, how much money you're actually going to walk away with. That's you can. Yeah. See, the seller net sheet, it's always going to give an estimation. They always cover their butts with that. They'll always say subject to change, but no one knows how much they're going to pay in escrow fees or county fees or tax fees. But the seller net sheet gives them a very good idea. Yeah. The seller, and it itemizes everything. And just to take a side step, that is a great conversation with your commission. You have to ask yourself, does the client, I always think of my mom. Will my mom care to sit down and look at a report, or will it be easier for her to just go on Zillow and look at the price? I get calls from her weekly. I always tell people this. She will call me any given week and say, Gabe, my house is it went up by $30. I'm like, not even, what does that mean? So she doesn't care. She really does not care. She just likes to see it. What would get her attention is something unique, like how much cash would you actually walk away with? And what would you do with that? And then that branches off into different things like that. But good question. Yes, Zillow does something like that. And then we would take it a step further and call it an equity analysis report. Yeah. Okay. So we've figured out how to solve a problem. And this is that in itself is going to be homework. You need to look at your database, look at your clients, and look at what problem they're facing. And that you are going to be the hero that solves that problem. It might be, what do I do if our grandparent passed away? How do we handle that? That's a solution, or sorry, that's a problem that needs a solution. We have a reverse mortgage on our property. What do we do with that? Now, if you start to run into that over and over again, I think you're starting to find your MOFR. Okay. Number three, package the system solutions you came up with. This is where we just give it a pretty name. Now, we all know that there are programs out there. A great example is a 6-week fit body camp or whatever those are called, transformation camps. An offer as old as time. Give us 6 weeks, follow this program, and we'll solve your problem. We loved doing that. When I had my gym, 5-week challenge, people ate that up. And it's because there was a problem. People needed the motivation. They needed the know-how. They needed the instruction, the outline, the structure. And we packaged this beautiful little box that said, just take this, sign here, and we will solve your problem. So this is no different than that. Okay. So once you figure out what the issue is, the problem is in the market, you're going to create a program around that and you're going to give it a name. Next step, and this is where we'll come back to, this is where we will come back to the playbook. Okay. You will add this to your marketing pieces. So there are several ways to market your MOFR: website, social posts and ads, radio. Okay. Mailers, put it on your website. Oh, so or said that. Oh, sorry. Email it out. Postcard once. And that's why I said at the very beginning, your homework is going to be figuring out what your MOFR is. Another way to figure out where the problems lie, I've heard this said multiple times, go to your email, go to your sent messages and see what questions you've answered. A lot of times you'll start to see, oh, they had a question about what repairs they should do to their house. Oh, they had a question about a trust. and you'll start to see trends, and you could start to pull from that if you need some motivation. Okay. Now, we're going to tie this into one other thing. You guys ready? I know I'm going to really surprise you guys. We're going to tie this into ChatGPT. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a website, any website. I did Keller Williams MOFIR, and it pulled up How I Met Your MOFIR. It's a Keller Inc. website, obviously Keller Williams sponsored. Now, I did read all this, but what do I do with all this? I copied it and then I pasted it into ChatGPT. Because what did I just do there? I just trained ChatGPT on what a MOFIR is. So now I would argue ChatGPT knows more about MOFIRs than any of us combined. Okay. And it even says, it looks like you've shared information on creating effective lead generation strategies, specifically focusing on making offers for immediate response. Is there anything specific you would like here to discuss to ask about this information? I said, yeah, give me some offers. Quit the chit chat and give me some offers. It said, okay, perfect. Here's one. Express home evaluation. Offer a quick and free home evaluation service for your potential sellers. We already know that one, right? I would say we take that a step further, and the property equity assessment report, if you get that down to a T where that is your MOFIR, and you start blasting that on email, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, how much equity would you walk away with? How much cash would you walk away with? You will start to get traction. But you need to be very clear on what your MOFIR is. Do not stray from it and just stay the course. It's all about consistency in the market, constantly doing the same thing. Don't suddenly change it because you feel a certain way one day. Stay the course. Another one, buyer's benefit package. Create a package that includes exclusive benefits for home buyers, such as discounts on closing costs, free home warranty, assistance with moving expenses. This can attract motivated buyers looking for added value. This might not apply to you, but again, we put zero effort into this. We just put it into ChatGPT. Instant cash offer programs. That is an offer that Keller Williams actually has. So if you would, again, don't reinvent the wheel. If you went to Keller Williams and looked into their, I think it's offers, you could start to leverage that. I see no Keller Williams agents pushing that forward. Maybe there's not a market for it, but I've not seen anybody use it. Guaranteed sales program. There are offices, your home sold guaranteed. That is, their office is based on one MOFIR. Now, I hope it continues to work for them, of course, but if it doesn't, they put all their eggs in one basket. But that is a great example of a MOFIR. Your home sold guaranteed. Is there any confusion on what that MOFIR is? They're guaranteeing that they're going to sell your house. Why can't you do that without having to take on an entire brokerage and expenses and all those things? Just grab that MOFIR. Another thing is, if agents are smart about MOFIRs, it'll be blasted all over the internet. So start looking what other MOFIRs are and start stealing those. Change the name, change the branding. Now you have your MOFIR. I would say the bigger the agent, their MOFIR is probably tried and trusted just a little bit more. So look to see what big agents are offering. There's a agent or team in this office that has a very specific launch program. It's called the 6-day blitz. There's no question of how long it lasts, right? I think we're not code breakers here, but I'm willing to bet it lasts 6 days. I'm willing to bet that it's a lot of activity. It's called a blitz. Okay. They can blast that on a billboard. It's so clear. So why can't you do something where it's 8 days to sell your home? It's very easy to do those things. I wouldn't recommend stealing it word for word, but get inspiration from other offices, other agents. Okay. Let me see. Exclusive access to off-market listings. I've actually seen this. This is really unique. Offer clients exclusive access to off-market listings or pre-listing opportunities. This creates a sense of exclusivity and gives buyers an advantage in a competitive market. Now, do you need a long list? You don't. You just need to say that you have access to off-market properties, which you very well could. You're not lying. Yes. Mm-hmm. Coming soon. So what would it look like if you were that agent that constantly was putting on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, get on my off-market list? Shoot, I got goosebumps. I think we just created a MOFIR. That is a great MOFIR. Get access to off-market listings. Join my group, join my list, join my whatever you want to call it. And this is where there's a little bit of fun in it. What are you going to call it? Something snazzy, something fun. It could be themed. You could have its own logo. You can make it a page on your website, put it in your bio on whatever socials you have. There's a lot of power in this. Okay. So the question for you guys, sorry, let me stay to script here. Now, how do you send that out? Website, social posts. I'm going to add email, mailers, anywhere else you are. And here's one thing. If you get so good at your MOFR, I could see you putting it on your business card. Like, I am known for this. And the more you do it, the more consistently you do it, the further you separate yourself from the competition. If you've been doing the same MOFR at a high level for 4 years and some new licensed agent decides to copy you, they have 4 years to make up for it. They're never going to catch it. Not if you stay the course. Okay. Let's see. Key tips to use your MOFR. This is point number 4 on the playbook. Bring up the MOFR in every conversation. Now, this is where people are like, oh, I feel salesy. I always go back to this, and this is from my sales training. If you found the cure to cancer, would you feel embarrassed to tell people about it? You would not shut up about it. It would be all you talk about. Now, I'm not saying your MOFR is the cure to cancer, but find yourself on that spectrum. Get a MOFR that you're proud of. For my gym, it was like, we can get you to lose 20 pounds in a month and a half. Just join. Just, you got to do it because I know it'll happen. If it was something that I didn't believe in, maybe I wouldn't bring it up very often. So find a MOFR that solves a problem, or sorry, let me go back. Find a MOFR that is timely in your market. Find a MOFR that solves a problem, give it a name, and just narrow it down to the point where word for word it is exactly what you want it to be, and then blast it everywhere. And if you really believe in that MOFR, you will share it constantly. Okay. Now, add it to all your emails. This kind of goes back to the business card conversation. If you get when you get that MOFR down, you're going to add it to the footer of every email, every letter, everything you send out. Hey, did you know about our exclusive? I forgot the name of it already. It's recorded. Exclusive off market list. Are you on that list? And maybe you start to create it into a hashtag, get on the list, get on the list. Everything's get on the list, get on the list. Finally, people are like, what list is Gabe talking about? You won't shut up about it. Oh, it's the off market list. Oh, I actually do want to get on that list. Okay. I feel like we just created a MOFR for everyone. I'm just saying. And then have printed materials ready for appointments. Again, this goes back to doing all the heavy lifting now, getting your MOFR narrowed down so that it is on your flyers. When you do your open house, you just have that MOFR ready to go. When I was an agent, I had my pre-listing and the whole spiel done to such a degree that I actually had it printed in books. Yeah, I think I got like 250 printed because it was not going to change. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. And I could hand it to people and know that everything in there was exactly how I wanted it to be. And I felt like it solved the problem and I could have stamped my name to it. Questions? Let's do the Q&A portion here. I do have a 1:30 and we still have a few minutes, but I want to make sure I answer any questions you guys have. Any troubleshooting issues with MOFRs? The net sheet. So you would go to escrow and ask them for a net sheet and you feel like it wasn't a full net sheet? What was missing? Okay. Mhm. Yep. Yeah, and I would Jackie was escrow when I was at Arcadia, and she knew what I was doing. I would tell her, and I knew the email was structured all the same. It was, "Hey, Jackie, you need a seller net sheet. Here's the address, expected sales price, commissions, mortgage balance." I think that was it. And then they would spit out she usually got it to me in an hour. A good escrow officer will be able to get it to you real fast. And I didn't go on an appointment without it. And that was a net sheet. That was part of my listing presentation. But yeah, it's the same concept. If you're offering it to any homeowner, you would just get a net sheet. The only thing is you do need to ask that question. What's your mortgage balance? That's the only piece that you're missing. And I loved equity analysis reports and net sheets because, and I already talked about this, I would highlight and circle my commission. And the reason I did that is if the elephant's in the room, I might as well bring it in the room and identify it first. So I would highlight the final price, the net. So I would open up to the seller net sheet or the equity analysis report, and I would look to the bottom and I would say, are you okay with this number? And if you're looking at a homeowner for the past 15 years, that's going to be a decent sized number. And they would say, I'm okay with that. Perfect. Now let's talk about my commission because that is included in this. I just want to make sure that's fine. They already saw the big number. They're good with it. So that's how I would tackle the commission conversation. I wouldn't even give them a chance to ask about it. Yeah, that was automatic that I would talk about that. But yeah, and if you think I would say just like the Zillow conversation, something is better than nothing. And I'm not saying give all bad information, but if there's a few fees missing, I don't think that client, because the net sheet does say estimation, no client is going to say, hey, you said there was going to be an extra $1,000 in here and it's missing. I don't know if they would have that issue. But again, I always did cover my butt and say this is an estimation, but it's going to give you a very good idea of what to expect. Yep. Mhm. Any questions, guys? Any other questions? Yeah, you want it to be very appealing, right? Which is where the whole like solving the problem comes in. Very appealing, and you want there to be a call to action. So if I have a toothache and a dentist ad pops up and it says, we solve toothaches in under 20 minutes, book an appointment, and my tooth's hurting, I'm clicking that right now. Yep. Right. Exactly. Urgency. Exactly. Yep. And it goes all the way back to pricing a property, right? You want to create excitement and fear. You're excited about the price and oh, I don't want to miss out on this. That's how I would explain pricing to I would say agents, to clients as well. I would say there's two really strong emotions that we're trying to tap into. Fear, I'm sorry, excitement and fear. And most people don't experience those two at the same time. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to take them on a roller coaster ride. Like, aren't you so excited to get this price? You better hustle up. There's a deadline. So let's write that offer. Let's write a full price offer. Logic makes them think, emotion makes them act. So you want to tap into those emotions. Exactly. Any other questions? No problem, guys. I won't put you guys on the spot, but eventually, those of you that are in this room, I'm going to come up to you and it won't be in front of anyone. I'll say, hey, did you create a MOFIR? Did you create a MOFIR? And if you did, let's look at it. Is it strong enough? Is it urgent enough? If you didn't, what's keeping you from it? Because if you don't know what the problem is, some agents, they have no clients. They have no past clients. They have nothing to base this on. So we tap into the mega brain that's Keller Williams Pasadena, and let's see what issues we're seeing out there. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me close all this stuff. Yes. Robert, that's like a new thing that I'm doing now is rather than instruct chat